Okay, let's start here, man. Our defense, I thought, played their tails off. 16 points allowed, man. You only allow 16 points. Your odds of winning go way up. 4 or 5 on third down, 4 stops on the quarterback sneak. Man, that was big time. Reeder and freaking Lopez and Mack and then Nowowski off the edge. Those guys just in its totality, I just thought they did a hell of a job, man. They were ready for it, and it was critical. They were crucial. They gave us a chance there. 1 of 3 in the red zone. 28 attempts. Pass game 4.3 average, which is outstanding. Only gave up 5 explosives. They were 5 of 6 sudden change. Getting stops. That was big time. So yeah, they ran it 40 times, but 3.7 average. So, we hung in there and did what we needed to do. Minimal, MAs, and really the only thing, just got no takeaways, We're looking for those takeaways, really needed one in a critical moment and then just trying to get off the field one more time there at the very end. But those guys played lights out. Offensively really starts with the run game. 3.5 average is, it's not enough for us. And that's everybody. That's all inclusive. It takes the whole unit. And then obviously 3rd and 4th down, we weren't good enough. 3 of 13. 0 of 5 on 4th down. And really it was a combination of, missed throws. We had some pressures, tip balls, had a couple of drops. And then there was a couple of bad calls by me. I wish there's some calls I want back bad. So I had a hand in that. But man, when we're explosive, we're explosive. I mean, we basically scored in 2 plays on, drive 4 or 5. We were able to hit it over the middle, and Saint gets a big one. It was a heck of a throw, really good protection. And then right after that, J-Mo over the middle takes it to the house. Good protection again, and a great throw in stride. So we're freaking close. And then special teams coverage units, loved it. Our return game wasn't good enough. We got to deliver the blow on some of those and give our guys a chance as returners. Questions?
Dan, what gives you the confidence that this offensive line will be able to consistently play at a high level come December and January?
Yeah, I believe in these guys, man. I do, and I just think the more they play together and they mesh and we just do things that we do well. And look, every game's different, Every game's different. There's a couple of things I wish, yesterday maybe I do differently, and just the way that we go about attacking those guys, and just a little bit, and that I think maybe can help our guys too, And there again, man, I just think there's a lot of things I think about, that are always going around in my head, man. A number of different ways. Well, we could do this. We can do this. We can try this. So I just go back to, and I believe in these guys. I think that they're good enough. They know how to play together. We just got to be a little more consistent in areas, and it takes everybody. It really does. We're so close, but there again, we can be so potent. I mean, J-Mo right now is taking off. Gibbs is taking off. I'm not worried about the connection with Saint and Goff. That thing's coming. I mean, it's always there. It's just one of those days yesterday. And we all elevate a little bit, including myself. We're going to be just fine.
You said a couple times last week and this week, Goff bailed you out on a play or two, or you want a play or two back. I think a lot of people look at you as sort of being, finished product is the right word, but, because of your position, a play caller who sort of, knows exactly what he wants and is doing. Can you just explain a little bit about what you've learned about yourself and about that role here, the last couple of weeks, and how that may help you going forward?
Yeah, well, I think, I think there's some things, what you learn and what you do as you go along is, man, there's always that time to where, okay, I'll give you an example, man. We were 2nd and short yesterday. It was like 2nd and 3 plus territory. I run a keeper back to the left. I hated it. I hated it. And it was like, okay, well, do you take a shot or do you just get the first? And if you are going to get the first, why do that? Why not run it one more time? Or maybe it is you go to the shot or more of a completion play, or maybe it's a 3-step, maybe it's a ball. And those are the little things like, man, you learn as you go that I think could have been a lot better, the sequencing of a couple of things that I think will really help our guys. So those are things that, it's just, here we go. And that'll help. It's going to help.
That in the moment, or do you hate that as you review it? You know what I mean? Like when you call it, or you're like, I should.
Pretty quick, pretty quick, very quickly, very quickly. And by the time that thing hits 15 seconds, you're done. You can't get it to him anymore, and now it's done. Is it awful? No, it's not awful. It's not an awful play. There's better. There's better, and those are the things that I got to be better at. I know I can be better at, and I kick myself a little bit.
With the way they were able to bat down those balls yesterday, they said they identified something on film with Goff's angle. What do you have to look out for? What do you have to adjust so that it doesn't become a trend with other opponents?
Yeah, look, they did a good job. You can tell they were just reading his eye, pushed as far as they could push, and then once you couldn't get any more, read his eyes, and then match the hand. Something they worked on, and really we have not had that problem here that I can think of since I've been here. I was part of a game like that years ago. J.J. Watt was knocking balls down. I think he knocked like 5 down in a game. But it's been a while like that, and so I could have done a better job we talked about it, but we really didn't. I didn't press the scout team defense. Really trying to just push and then bat balls and get your hands in the way. And so, you just do a couple of little things differently, O-line wise. It's not easy, but at some point when you feel like you got them locked down and they're not moving anymore and they stop, just trying to keep their feet on the ground. And then, golf, which is not easy either, but just changing your arm angle on a couple of things, knowing they're just staring at you. So it's all correctable. I'm not worried about it moving forward, but I certainly could have made a better emphasis on it last week.
You got a bunch of defenders who are on the cusp of coming back from injured reserve. Is there anybody you're super optimistic about getting back this week?
Well, DJ Reed looks pretty positive here. We're going to get him a week of work here and see where he's at. Obviously Davenport's getting better. Probably going to start Dorsey's clock this week. Rodrigo is looking better, is getting better every day. So, probably Reed and Rodrigo right now would be the top of that list, but Pascal's getting better. So, yeah, we're kind of getting in a good place here.
How's Irby progressing?
He's getting better. I don't know. Like you asked me right now, I don't know if I see him in this week, but he is getting better.
You talked about the month of November coming into it and then coming out of the bye. This is where teams separate themselves.
Yeah.
You said multiple times just now, you guys are close to being a team that separates itself in November, close to feeling like everything's clicking. What are you close to, and how relative is that to a team separating itself in November?
Yeah, I'm still to that point where I feel like, we still have not quite played our best game, our best games, and I'm talking about in all three phases. That's the one thing, win, lose, or what, man, where you just want to feel like, all right, man, all three units contributed and we really complemented each other. Chicago was pretty dang good. Washington was good last week, but yet there were some things we wish we could have done a little bit better. It wasn't like that in all three units. That was good, believe me. But I really feel like we have not played our best ball yet, collectively, all three units. And once we get there, I believe there'll be no looking back. Now, it doesn't mean you're not going to have up and down. There'll be some things in there, but yet, man, we're going to be running so much more efficiently. So I'm just optimistic. It's I know we're going to be okay here. We weathered the storm. We get through it. We correct these issues, and let's put together a good plan, and let's play better than we did collectively from last week and do what it takes to win the game.
ask you about your fourth down decisions. We do know your commitment to aggression, and it has been successful. But as it gets to 0-2 on fourth down, 0-3, just wondering about adapting and not going for it, and just against a team like that with a good defense in the environment that you were in. Did you think at all about adapting and scaling down the aggression?
No. I think some of it is that was a little unique yesterday. Some of the areas we were at, you're a little bit in no man's land. You're on the road. Some of that, we got wind in our face. These aren't easy field goals, and yet you're in manageable 4th and 2, 4th and 3, 4th and 4. And so that's what makes it. Now, we could punt it. We did that one time. But yet you're almost too tight on some of those too. So to me, it made sense to do that at the time. Is it always going to be that way? No, it's not always going to be that way. I mean, I look at everything, I think about it, and certainly, nothing. I mean, you go 0 for 5 on fourth down. It's, for the times that it's gone right and we've had success, I mean, we were as far from that as you could be yesterday.
Maybe it's off St. Brown connection. I mean, obviously third and fourth down didn't go as well as you hoped, but how important is that connection to that? And I mean, again, David Shaw mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I guess, that you guys are explosive but inefficient. And in this case, it seemed like that was also the case last night.
Yeah, I mean that thing there. That's such a rare. I mean, that's a rarity that those two don't connect. And so I'm not even worried about that. Like that thing, we're going to be fine there. It was just the perfect storm. Things just didn't quite go the way we wanted them to. We're a little bit off in some areas, but I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about their connection. They're going to be just fine, and both of those guys will be ready to roll, just like the rest of us are this week to get ready for the Giants.
Identify why they were off at all? Like, have you?
It was just one thing here or there, and it could be as simple as maybe a little bit deep in the pocket, maybe a little bit too deep on the route, or maybe short, or maybe we just didn't, but it's just. Literally, it's one thing, and it's one minor thing that can pop up. And normally it doesn't necessarily hurt you, but it just, some of these things hurt us yesterday. And I go back to this. We have to be able to run the football better than we did as a whole. We can do better. We can be better. And it takes everybody on the unit. And I got to help us, too, as the play caller.
Is there a connection, though? More disrupted because of interior pressure than other connections, just because of the routes, route runs?
No, I don't. Look, that's a disruptive front over there, but it's not like we haven't faced disruptive fronts. So we were just a tick off, man. It was kind of one of those days. I hate saying it, but we were a little bit off, and normally, even if there is something a little bit off, there's always we can make up for it in other areas, and we couldn't quite get there yesterday.
We've seen really good teams over time kind of shrug off slow starts or losses early in the season because they're building towards something. But maybe it's silly, but right now the playoff picture, you're on the outside looking in, and so there's 7 games left. It's a lot of football, but when does that margin of error start to get dicey, where maybe it starts creeping into the mindset a little bit?
I mean. I just know right now all we can worry about is getting ready for these guys. You literally have to take it one game at a time. If we start getting into this, oh man, we're outside looking in. If we don't, let's all get together. Hey guys, if we don't, we know the guys know. We know. We have to play better collectively. But the only way to do that is to go back to work and just literally take it one game at a time. We got to play much better football. Collectively, and just focus on that. Don't worry about anything else, and we can't worry about Thanksgiving after that. And then 7 days later, you got to just worry about the Giants, man. We're going to have a good plan. The guys are going to come in ready to go, and let's play better, and let's coach better. I got to coach better.
Real quick, sorry, you asked about Sam yesterday. Is there official diagnosis for him?
For who?
For Sam.
Oh, it's a back.